Hello everybody. Picked this up today. This is the Cimarron firearms artillery model. This is the actual artillery model, not a Cattleman or a Frontier or anything like this. This is actually marketed as their artillery gun. And I have not seen anything on this gun on YouTube. I looked and looked and looked before I got it because I wasn't sure if I wanted it or not. I have the 7th Cavalry model. I really like it. But this one is the short version of it. 5.5-inch barrel instead of 7.5. And supposedly the cavalry models were cut down at a later time and reissued as an artillery piece, sidearm. So the markings, you have the patent dates, you have the U.S. stamp, caliber marking. You have a cartouche here on this grip. I'm not sure who that is, R.A.C., I guess. I'd have to look that up and see who that is. But it's not the same cartouche that's on the 7th Cav. It still has the screw to retain the cylinder pin. Unlike the 7th Cav that did not come with the proper one, it came with this thumb screw, which I do not like. I've already emailed Cimarron to see if I can get a replacement for that. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute because I'm going to bring the other gun out. This one, unlike my 7th Cav, is made by Pietta. The other one is made by Uberti. And honestly, the Uberti is a better gun. I'm just putting it out there. This one is not quite as refined. There are more burrs. It's not as smooth. It's pretty, but it's just not as good. So I want to kind of bring the other one out here. I'll show you this one first. The bluing on it is decent except for the sight. It's like they missed a spot. So I'll have to touch that up. This looks like, kind of looks like rust almost. Like they forgot to blue the front blade. It has a full moon ejector versus the crescent. And I can bring out one of my other 1873s to show you the difference of that. This is not as smooth as the Uberti one either. A couple other minor differences we'll go over them as I'll kind of disassemble them and look at them. But that's it. That's the U.S. artillery model, and it is a 4-click hammer, so it's C-O-L-T. So that's good. That's what I wanted. I didn't want a 3-click safety hammer. I really don't like those. All right, so I'm gonna bring the other gun out and we're gonna look at them both side by side. All right, so here are both guns side by side. This is the 7th Cavalry model. It's Company I. This one is made by Uberti. Again, that one's made by Pietta. So some real quick just looking at them differences other than barrel length. This is the proper screw to hold that pin. Just a little flathead screw. This gun came with both. This one just came with a thumb screw. Not a fan of the thumb screw. Anyway, grips are different. The Ubertis, in typical Uberti fashion, are highly glossy. Not a fan of that, but it is what it is. And this one has the OWA cartouche on it, and it is not blackened. This one has this RAC, I guess, and it is darkened like it was burned in. These grips here are more of a satin finish, which I do like this finish better than this one. That's personal preference, I guess. This one also, being an Uberti, is 4-click hammer. So that's the same. And I'm wearing gloves because I just cleaned these. I didn't want to get fingerprints all over them. Also has the full moon ejector on that one. And some other differences I want to get into. I'll have to do it by taking apart the gun. But notice on the trigger housing, this is smooth here. No bevel, it's just kind of rounded. And this one has a little bevel here. I don't know which is historically accurate. I think this looks nicer. Fit and finish of this gun's a little better too. This is much smoother than this one. You can just hear how crunchy that is. It's just, and I've cleaned it. I mean, I've cleaned it. Probably have to go through and to fully disassemble it and deburr some things, but it's pretty rough. timing and everything seems to be okay. There's a good lockup on full cock. It doesn't move at all. I haven't shot it yet, so I don't know, you know, all that, but I will be doing that very soon. As far as, you know, fit and finish goes, though, I mean, there's some differences. This just feels rougher in the hand. Like it's like they hurried. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna take it down, take both of them down, and just show you some other differences between the two. All right, now I got them field stripped, basically. So you unscrew both of these, and the pin slides out. First thing we'll look at is the pins. On the Uberti, there are 2 notches here. Now, the real ones only had the one. This one, top one here, is like the safety knot. It pushes this end past this part of the frame through a little hole down there, and you probably can't see it. Through that bottom hole. And that's, I'm assuming, just so, because the trigger will not fall on the cylinder at all. So I guess it's a matter of safety. I don't know if that's for import purposes or what. But anyway, but the point is, this has got full bevels all the way around. So it does not matter the orientation that you put this pin in. I like that. The Pietta is different. It's got the same 2 notches for the same safety, but they are only on one side of it, so it has to go in a certain way, or it's not gonna, you're not gonna be able to lock it down. So you really got to pay attention when reassembling this thing, how that goes. And I've got other Uberti and I got other Pietta guns, and it's pretty much a consistent thing. Pietta does it this way, Uberti does it that way. I don't know which is correct, but that is what it is. Cylinder wise, on the Uberti, it's got, you know, your serial marking, some other stampings there. It does not have, what I can tell, sorry, these are covered in oil and so are my hands, but it does not have the inspector's initials on it like the originals would have had. You have a good bevel here. Then you have the center pin, and it does not come out. It's fixed. So there's that. And the Pietta, that's what I was going to show you too. Also, the pin has a slight groove there. It's very, very slight, but it's there on the Uberti. On the Pietta, it does not. It is flat. I don't know if that makes a difference or what that... Again, this would have been first generation gun copies, so I don't know if that was a later development. But you can see the bevel is pretty much the same. Markings are a little different. There's no serial number on the cylinder on this one, just the regular import marks and stuff. So, yeah, so that's the cylinder. So the firing pin and hammers, pretty similar. Just fixed firing pin on both. As far as the other differences, I think that's pretty much it. You know, just not as good a bluing. You can see that it's pretty bad, actually. I'll have to re-blue that. When I cleaned this one, I got a lot of, I don't know if it was rust or if it was some sort of special coating they put on these things, but it came out red on my cleaning swabs. So I scrubbed the crap out of it and oiled it real good. And that is that. This one does not have anything on the butt plate. No serial number, no company markings, nothing like that. Obviously the 7th Cavalry, if you know anything about these things. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed holding my phone. But it says I Company 7th Cavalry, and it has the serial number on the bottom, which I think is cool. Like I said, bluing on this, pretty good. I mean, it's not the best I've ever seen, but it's not bad. This is the 7th Cavalry one. The bluing on the Pietta, I would say, is comparable. Maybe a little more blues and purples. But that sight, you can see, was not blued on either side. It's just almost bare metal. So, yeah, so that's pretty much a look at the artillery U.S.V versus the 7th Cavalry. Both are imported by Cimarron. This is the Uberti, that's the Pietta, just showing you the little differences of it. And, you know, when you cycle to action, I can do that too. They're a little different. This one's very smooth. This one is a little not so smooth. I'm gonna have to go inside here and deburr and slick and do some stuff. All right, this one is also a Pietta. This is the, I think it's the Frontier nickel engraved. Anyway, it's pretty. I got this one used. Stole it actually. And this came with the cheap imitation ivory grips, and I kind of worked on them a little bit and kind of made it to look like imitation bone. At least that was my goal. I think it worked out pretty well. Anyway, so this gun has been slicked up, and it is slick. Took some work, but it's pretty nice. It has the same, it has a different type of pin release. It's got the push button, slides out, but I want to show you. I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not. I don't think I can. Anyway, it's got the same pin style as the black powder frame one. Actually, the pin heads look the same too. So the pins are the same. This just has the, this one doesn't have the cross bolt. It has the screw. This one has the cross bolt holder, and then the pin's the same, but it's also beveled the same, just on the one side. So it's kind of a pain in the butt to get back in. I don't know. I've been very happy with this Pietta, so I didn't think I would be disappointed with this one. And I mean, after some work, I might be happy with this one too. This one didn't need anything coming out of the box. And I've got another Uberti 1875, which I did a previous video on, that didn't need any work either. Actually, that one is right here. I'm running out of table space. This is the 1875 Remington. It did not need any work either. It was great right out of the box. So anyway, this review isn't about all of these guns. This review is about this one. So we're gonna put some snap caps in it. I'll kind of show you how the action works and that kind of stuff, and then we'll call it a day. Oh, and I forgot to say, before I put it away, I want to show you the difference. If you don't know, the difference between the original style, the full moon ejector, versus the later style, the half moon. So a little easier to get out of the holster, I imagine. But this one is easier to work. Trade-offs, as with anything, I suppose. All right, forgive the nastiness of my desk. I need to clean it. But anyway, I loaded this with some snap caps. Again, you got the 4-click hammer. That's important to some people. I know it's important to me. I like authenticity. So I didn't load this with 5. I loaded it with 6 because it's just snap caps. But anyway, pulls back pretty well. Kind of got a gritty trigger. That first break is, I don't know, it probably just needs to be deburred, cleaned up. I think once I do that, it'll be okay. I'll probably have to do to this one what I did to the other one and just slick it up. But yeah, it's definitely not as nice as my other Pietta or either of my Ubertis. This is pretty rough. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm disappointed because I think it's cool in its own way, because I like the fact that it's stamped with the U.S. government markings, and this was, you know, a reproduction of a gun that was actually carried by our military back in the day, and I kind of find it cool. And it's different than the Cattlemans and the Frontiers and the El Malos and all that kind of stuff. This is kind of like back to what this gun was meant to be, and I like that. So I'll slick it up, and if it helps, I'll maybe post an update. If it doesn't help, I'll post that too probably. One last thing I wanted to do, and I'll switch to the other camera, other camera view, just to show you just another minor difference. On the sights. Now these are being the original black powder frame. The sights are narrow, the front blade is narrow, and you can see the sight channel is pretty long there. I'm talking about this right here, this sight channel cut into there. So this wide groove doesn't come back all the way, and you get this little sight channel, little V-notch. On the Uberti, you have that as well, but it's much smaller. I mean, this big scallop comes back a lot farther, and the V is just very pronounced. Now, the end result is the same. When you look through them, when you look down them. I just, you know, another reason I think the Uberti is just a little bit prettier. And I never really noticed it on my other one, how that one is. But this has got the wide groove sight, so that's why I never paid attention. This is a later model, so it's got the wider blade and the wider rear groove. All right, so that's my look at the Cimarron artillery model. Black powder frame, 5.5 inch, 6-shot, 45 Colt revolver. Like I said, I didn't see any videos on it, so I didn't know really what I was going to get. And I did order it from Bud's. Went and picked it up tonight. And yeah, I mean, I think I can fix it. The little things that need to be smoothed out, reblued, deburred. And I think it'll be a good gun eventually, just not out of the box. All right, thanks for watching.